So the piece I want to talk about is Rent. It's started out as a musical workshop in New York City in 1988 by a gentleman named Jonathan Larson. Through several workshops and tweaking the performance and stuff, it became a Broadway musical. I believe it opened off Broadway in 1996 and was met with great success. It had a 12 or 13 year run on Broadway, and it's still touring to this day. 2017. It still is popular now, if not more so than it was um, back in the '90s and the early 2000s. I think I was first introduced to Rent when I was in ninth grade, so it would have been 1996, 1997. Being somebody who was heavily involved in theater and show choirs in school, um, I had a lot of friends that were um, gay, bisexual, and straight, and at the time it was kind of difficult for the kids that were bisexual and gay because it wasn't necessarily um, always safe for them to be out. And in our little world, we never thought about that. It was, nobody cared what you were. You were friends with everybody, and the rest of the world was the rest of the world. Well, when Jonathan Larson brought Rent out, it dealt with all of these issues. If you're not familiar with it, the characters in the play are, there's heterosexuals, there's gays, there's a transsexual. Um, you've got African Americans, Americans. It's a broad spectrum coverage of every basic form of humanity that you can find, um, from people that are wealthy to people that are living in a slum, basically, and squatting to keep the apartment that they have because they don't have any money. Um, for me, it was kind of an eye opener to see that that's where things have progressed from. The play takes place in New York City, and Jonathan Larson never got to see the success that his play would become. He was sadly, his life ended from an aortic aneurysm, which was a result of something he had called Marfan syndrome. When through knowing the music and the play and everything else, and finding out the research on that before, my aunt and my grandfather both had Marfan syndrome and had died from that. So when you watch it in the play and the movie, all open up the same way. It's a song, and it basically says that there's 524,600 minutes in a year. Um, I think the biggest thing about the musical and the play is that you should take every one of those minutes and live them to the fullest, because you never know if it's going to be your last one. You never know that it won't be your friend's last one. It deals with loss and the pain and suffering from that, and the newness of the AIDS disease at that point, and when it was really becoming more um, light shed on it, but how stigmatized it still really was. So if you haven't seen the play or the movie, I would definitely suggest seeing it. I'm going to close this out with just a track from there, and I look forward to the feedback. Thank you.